Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. I'm Charla.
I'm Justin.
What's on the table today?
Morels.
Morels.
Yep.
The two-player game about foraging for mushrooms.
And eating them.
Right.
In a pan full of butter or apple cider if you can get it. Because that's delicious.
Well, if that's how you like them. We're not here to tell you how to eat your mushrooms.
No.
The game should take you about 30 minutes.
Yep.
And it says it's good for ages 10 and up.
Yeah. So what do you think of the components of Morels?
I think they're good. The cards are nice. They're not thick, but they do have a white border, which is nice. Because if they get a little dingy, you're not going to really notice that much.
And they're thick. They're actually a little hard to shuffle because they're a thick, stiff card.
Once you play with it probably like 25 times, I'm sure they'd soften up.
It's really good, though, because at the end of every turn, you've got to shuffle them down. So you're constantly sliding the cards. So you want to have a nice surface to slide them across so they don't get dirty, dinged, and that kind of stuff. Right. So that's important.
Right.
Yep.
And we have a later edition, so we have tokens for the sticks, but the early edition had actual little sticks, which would have been so
and little tiny frying pans.
Cute.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's too bad, because that would have been nice. Not that there's anything wrong with these.
There's nothing wrong with chits.
Nope.
But
it would have been cuter.
Woods are cuter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what about the strategery of Morels?
The strategery. There is a little bit of luck. Because you don't know, you shuffle the deck, so you never know how the deck's going to come out. So there is some luck there. There's also a little bit of luck combined with strategy based off of the best mushrooms have the fewest amount of them. Like the Morels. There are exactly 3 Morels in the entire deck, and you need at least 3 mushrooms at the same time to cook. So if you get one right away, that's taking up 1 card of your entire hand while you're waiting for the other ones to come, and you've really got to sneak in and grab those other ones because you can so easily get blocked.
Right.
So there's a great bit of strategy combined with luck that works really well. And then, of course, based on what comes up, a lot of tactics. What is the best move at the moment?
Right.
And that especially comes in if you've got a frying pan in your hand and some cards that you're ready, some mushrooms you're ready to cook, you're going to have to spend a whole turn putting down a pan. And then a card goes into decay, everything shuffles down, next person goes, takes a bunch of stuff, 1 card decays, everything shuffles down, and then you're going to have to take a whole turn to cook.
Right.
And then something goes into decay, and so on and so forth. So you're missing out on a ton of cards.
But as long as the forced path, you look ahead, you have 8 cards to look ahead.
Yep.
So you can pick and choose at what time that you cook your mushrooms.
Yep.
Unless your hand's full and you have no other choice.
Yeah. But it's a great, there's some great decisions there on, like, right now there's great stuff. Do I do it now or do I wait? There's a whole bunch of stuff I have no interest in getting or I'm willing to sacrifice, so I'll wait for these to shuffle down the path, and I'll start putting some stuff out. So some good decisions, a great blend of all 3.
Yes.
For a very good, quick, easy game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the complexity? How complex is it?
I don't know what to say about complexity because the first time I played it, I felt like I was fumbling around in the dark forest. I had no idea.
There was no moon out.
No. But by the second, I would say the third time I played it, I was finally getting the hang of it.
Yeah.
And then the playthrough and what we've played recently, like really keeping an eye on how many mushrooms there were of the good ones, and there's a lot of the cheaper kind of ones.
Yeah.
And it was easier to keep track of at that point.
Yeah.
So I think for me, there was a learning curve to the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, it's not hard to teach. The whole thing about the decay and that was a little tricky at first, but once you get used to it, it's not bad.
I think the most complex thing about the game is understanding how the destroying angel works, because it's like, I'm going to have my hand, and it's not. You're going to subtract 4. But your opening hand limit is 8, so you're having it. So sometimes I'm not having it, I'm just losing 4 off my hand limit. Because once you get the baskets, that's a little confusing, but not really.
No.
Yeah. Again, once you play a little bit.
Which is funny, I'm just thinking about the game we played for the playthrough, and we avoided them all.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
It's not hard to avoid them, no.
And
But it would be interesting if someone put something in the decay that you really wanted, like the Morels or something.
Yeah,
that was
that
your
would be
very
hilarious.
last one that you needed to get that 3.
Yeah.
And there was a destroying angel in there. Well, you'd have to bite it and take it.
That'd be awesome.
That would be a good play.
Yeah. Understanding that it does take so many turns to set up your mushrooms to be cooked is important, because I do know the first couple games we played, I was always frustrated near the end of the game because I finally had all the stuff ready and then I didn't have enough turns to actually put it out and get the points.
Yeah.
So you really have to your timing has to be dead on.
Spot on.
Yeah.
Because I missed out cooking my last batch of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Because I miscounted how many cards there were in the force path.
Yeah. So the rules themselves aren't complex, but understanding the strategy and the timing behind everything, that can be a little complex.
Right.
And it'll take a little bit of playthrough to understand.
Everything else is pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you get used to that, there's a lot of good game in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So what about the playability?
Well, mechanics versus theme. The mechanics fit really well. It's interesting. I like the path, and you can kind of see what's down the path. You can use the sticks to get to it faster.
Right, and the decay, they say, well, you can take so many more cards because they're right there at your bottom of your feet, so you can just bend over and pick them all up.
Yeah. So it's nice. It's not like, it doesn't make total sense, but they do fit together well enough.
For sure. Yeah.
Number of players, well, there's 2 players, and that is it. So that makes sense. And honestly,
there's no scalability here.
I don't think you could get a game of Morels going with more than 2, because you're already losing so many opportunities by setting up your frying pans and stuff, that if there were more than 2 players, that would just kill the game.
Well, you'd have to have double the amount of cards.
Yeah. So I could see why this was made specifically as a 2-player game, and it works.
Yeah.
It's really quick. What's going to come up on the path and what you're going to start off with, and getting those night cards, because they're a double card, that's really going to, like, as soon as I got a night card, I was like, oh, well, I've got to go after these right away.
Yeah, it kind of gears your whole strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. And a big thing about the replayability of Morels is just getting better at it, especially once you start to understand how many of each thing are there.
Yeah. And trying to count the cards, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't say anything in the rule book about going through the discard pile, but it seems like that would give you too much of an advantage if you did go back.
Yeah.
Like, so you really have to remember what hasn't come out yet, what he drew, what got thrown away,
Absolutely.
Who sold what. Yeah.
Because there's a part, like, I actually had 2 of the chanterelle mushrooms, and there's 4 of them, and they're really good. They're 4 points each. Like, I was like, oh man, I gotta save onto these and get 1 more. And then one came out and started going down the path, and then you snagged it.
And I didn't even look on here to see there was 4, so we each had 2 in our hand.
Yeah.
So
and then
I was like, oh,
I stuck to my guns for like 1 or 2 more rounds, thinking, okay, another one's gonna come out, and none of them ever did. So I was like, fine, and then I just sold them for sticks.
Right.
Because I knew they were taking up room and they weren't going to come out.
Yeah.
And that helped me get some of the other, like, I got a nice hand of shiitake at that point.
Yeah, you had a big hand of shiitake. Yeah.
So a lot of the playability or replayability will come from, I'm getting better at this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of almost a mind game too in your own head. It's like, oh, how many went by? You know, how many did he have?
Yeah.
Should I push my luck and wait, or should I just sell the, like, there's a lot of good choices to be made.
There's a lot of them, especially once you get a hold of the game. There's a lot of good choices.
Yeah.
So, does this have the awesomeness or the cuteness?
I would have to say this game is really cute.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, the pictures on the cards are super adorable of the mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the lawyer's wigs, whatever. But... You know, the baskets are cute, and it's got cute little scenes for shiitake. And
it's nice artwork.
Yep, I like it. It's really cute.
Yep. The destroying angels are a little awesome because they're scary. I mean, there's like death hanging around above them. But yeah, it's definitely a cute game.
Yeah.
Yep. Would we rate this as a poor, good, excellent, or outstanding 2-player game?
I would have to say it is a very good 2-player game.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in there. I would go with good. It's a good 2-player game.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not my favorite. And the reason why is, I guess because there's not a lot to draw me in theme-wise. You're picking up mushrooms and eating them.
It's true.
It works for the game, and the mechanics of the game are excellent. There's a lot of good choices, which makes it a good game.
Right.
Yep. Did we finish the game as sweethearts or rivals?
I would have to say I finished it as rivals.
Yeah, rivals.
Yeah.
I was trying to get there, like, synced right there, and you're like, and then you messed my timing.
Well, we could do it again if you wanted.
No, that's fine. My timing was off for the game as well, which is why I lost.
But definitely rivals, because I'm like, get off the forest path, that's my mushroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost lost my head when I stole one of the Morels, because I knew she had two. I was just like, I'll take that. She's like, no. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. At least to steal one by. Oh,
a lot of points.
I don't want to spoil it for you. Sorry.
Yeah. So, this is Morels, 2-player game. Pretty cool. We'll put links to the overview and playthrough in case you want to check those out.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Later. What are we having for supper? Mushrooms?
Yeah. Mushrooms.